Ladies and gentlemen, we're out here again, and we're gearing up for it's gonna be another hike. It's gonna be a little different this time. I'm hopefully scouting for a good spot to build like a little bit of a bushcraft shelter, and somewhere that I can come back and camp sometime soon. Today I suspect between 5 and 10 miles probably, and I'm just gonna finish gearing up and we'll get on the trail.
All right, so we just got on trail. I walked for probably 5-6 minutes, and that expression, be bold, start cold, is something I should listen to because I'm already hot, already shedding layers. I was just freezing when I got out of the car, but time to go down in a t-shirt again. All right, I got my layers peeled, and I'm out here hiking. It's a lot sunnier today than it was the other day, and it's really showing. Even though the snow's deeper, it's a lot warmer because the sun's coming out, it's bouncing off the snow. It's keeping everything warm. This trail follows a creek too. And I've only actually been up here one time. I did not follow this fork. I followed the one that does not follow the creek, and it seems kind of nice. You know, I was looking at the map before coming up here, and oh boy, do you get the sense of you can't see elevation on a 2D map. I didn't know there were going to be this many switchbacks on this steep of a hill. I knew it was going to be switchback heavy later, but oh boy, is it steep at the beginning. So I took a look back at the map because I'm up here and it's been half a mile and I'm already, see the parking lot all the way down there. I'm already probably 400 or 500 feet above the parking lot. It's only been half a mile. And I can't even tell from the map that I was at the trailhead if I'm on the right trail or not. All right, so after about 10 minutes of very careful deliberation of trying to figure out what the heck is going on with the maps and comparing it with the satellite on Google Maps, I have determined that I have no idea what's going on, but I think I'm just gonna keep going and hopefully figure it out in just a little bit, because I'm still not too far. I can see the parking lot from where I'm at, which is the confusing part, but we're just gonna keep going and see what happens. Still going, and it's still just going up and up. I'm pretty sure, I couldn't really tell from the trailhead map, but I looked on Google Maps, and I think we're climbing to the top of that bad boy. And by the top, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's over by all these pine trees, and it's a few miles plus all the elevation, but I guess we'll see how far it goes, how far it ends up being. As you can tell, I'm a little tired. A lot of uphill. Just finished a mile, and it's all still climbing. And I look up ahead, and the trail, it charges straight up this hill. It doesn't do any switchbacks or anything. So it's just steep grade all the way up. And the snow, it's just getting deeper and deeper. Probably like 8 or 9 inches right now. Up a little further, and there's finally a switchback. But if it weren't for walking wherever all the animals and people have walked, there's about a foot of snow everywhere else. So the snow level's rising. We got a few hundred more feet of elevation, so we'll see how that affects it. But we're almost to the top of this first little peak. I think we'll go down in the saddle and we'll see about coming up on the big mountain. So we're finally up in the tree line. And you can really smell the juniper right now. And it's nice because I'm trying to catch my breath a little bit because it's finally a little bit flatter. It's still going to be more uphill, but it smells nice. So I'm just kind of taking a breather right now. I can't even tell how much more elevation I got until I get to the top, but it feels like the mountain just keeps growing. But we're getting there. We're getting there. This is the view I get to see though. You can look down. I already see the town. Also put an earbud in. Got the music going so I can have a little bit of encouragement getting up this hill. It's getting hot out here. I think it's because I'm working so hard. My heart rate's been like 150 to 160 this whole time from just charging up this hill. And I'm finally getting there, but we're on the south side of the ridge now, which means there's nowhere near as much snow. There's so many more trees from all the extra sunlight. Might be looking for a spot here soon though to make some lunch. So we finally got a little bit of downhill, but I still have absolutely no idea where this trail goes. I tried looking at the map again, but it's not super helpful because the trail markers I've seen don't match up with any intersections that are even on the map. So I could be anywhere from like 1 or 2 trails off to like a couple miles at this point. Since from what I read in the description of some of these trails, they loop all the way to trailheads that are miles down the road from where I was even at. I was originally planning on going somewhere else, but then I remembered this trail and I wanted to explore it a little further. So I decided to come here. And as far as I know, one of these trails connects the 8 to 12 miles to the end of the other trail. So I guess we'll see what happens. I'm continuing to go up again. Okay. So still not at the top. Time's 2:28, and my turnaround time was about 3:30 at the latest. If I wanted to make it back before dark, I was originally planning on doing a loop, and that's kind of why it's 3 or 3:30. Because if I was about halfway, I would just finish the loop. But I have no idea where I'm going, so I got about half an hour to make it to the top of this hill, and I can make lunch up there, or I gotta turn around and walk back so I can make it back home make it back to the trailhead before it gets dark. Because I don't want to get lost out here where I have no idea where I'm at. Because it's not like I could tell anybody because I have no idea where I'm at. But I'm gonna try and keep going. I'm gonna see if I can get to the top of this hill in half an hour. If not, I'm gonna stop wherever I'm at, make some lunch, and decide from there. Just an update on the view though. I can no longer really see the city, but I can see the canyon. And right over by that field, go down that field just a little bit, and that is the parking lot. So I have done one giant switchback up this giant hill. So there's a set of footprints already on this trail. And on my way up here, there were quite a lot of them. But there's just one right now. And it's coming downhill. Which means whoever hiked it came from somewhere else or was in here when the storm happened. But I've gotten high enough up. The deer haven't even come up this far anymore. They've stayed down a lot lower in the tree line. There's a lot more to eat. Finally making it up out of the lower trees into the a little bit more of the higher trees. These ones are, we're making a switch from juniper up to a thicker Douglas fir forest. This is I guess that's a plant. We're only sitting probably 8 inches of snow, but it's all fresh snow versus having the nice compacted trail that we had back closer to the deeper snow. It's feeling nice though, because I am able to cool off a little bit in the shade. Just kind of wondering how the trail goes, but now that we're in trees, GPS might not be so much help. Okay, so I'm up here, and I've gone a little bit further. I'm looking around, and there's either, I don't know if these are elk or moose prints. Can't really tell. They're big, they're not deer. But I'm looking, and I've been following the whole time some boot prints from like hiking boots that go downhill with trekking poles. And I'm looking around. I haven't got to any split trails or anything, and they're gone. I don't remember seeing them disappear. But I don't know where they went. Okay, so I've gone up a lot of elevation, and I'm at 1.92 miles, so, but it is time to turn around. So, unfortunately, I have to go back. But I did make it a lot higher. That is the ridge I was trying to climb for the first hour and a half, and I'm up above it. I think I'm higher than most of the hills around town. But it is turnaround time, and I want to be back down before the sun sets, because I can see the shadows moved quite a lot already. So we're gonna go down. I'm gonna keep an eye out, see if I can find where the footprints break off. And I'm gonna keep an eye out, see if I can find a good spot to eat lunch. Okay, so this is where those downhill prints start. The other sets those are only mine. I'm here. They don't come from anywhere, which is strange because there's only one set of uphill prints. Maybe this. Oh, that's an animal. Huh. One of the reasons I love trekking poles so much is partially because of the downhill. When you're carrying a heavy pack down a hill, it really beats up on your knees and your shins and your hips, and all your joints get just obliterated. So when you have the trekking poles, you can kind of reduce the force going straight down in your joints. I find it helps, keeps me less tired. All right, so I'm down most of the way out of the trees, and I'm in a little bit of a drier spot. Well, not drier, it's just not snow. It's still mud. So I'm kind of torn on 50-50 on if I want to pull out my lunch stuff, have lunch here, or just bust my butt and just go down to the car. But I'm probably gonna do it here just because I got about 2 more miles back down to the car, and I could go for a little bit of a breather. It's been a steep hike today. Okay, so got my bag down. I'm gonna throw my jacket back on because it's a little cold. After not moving for a little bit, it gets a little cold. Especially because all that sweat on my t-shirt. It's not ideal, but I didn't really have another layer to strip down into, so I'm sweaty. Even though I brought my most breathable t-shirt. It's my go-to because when I get home, it smells bad, so it goes in the wash immediately, which means conveniently, it's ready to go next time I need it. Same situation as last time. We're doing ramen noodles. We call it the college kid special. When I go out in the woods, go to have fun and hang out most of the time. So step one when I stop is not really get everything done. Let's get my chair out. That's why I love being out here. So now I get to hang out. Look at this cool view while I'm getting ready to cook. All right, so today, since the creek is not an option right now because we are way too high up and I have no idea where it's at, we're going to try out a new, also just as good water collection method of using the snow and melting the snow. Since we're finally high enough up that we can try that one out. All right, so you want to try and only get the clean snow, which is usually just like whatever's on top. And snow has a ton of air in it, so go ahead and make sure your pot gets nice and full. Because unless you're running low on fuel, you can always pour some water out, keep some of that water in your water bottle. I'd rather have extra water than not enough. Now we just gotta go back and start cooking it up. All right, so I got my stove going. I'm out looking over this nice beautiful view. Just gotta wait for that water to get nice and hot. Even though the snow did fall from the sky and is probably safe, it's also good to boil it just as if you're boiling creek water. It's better to be safe than sorry. Don't want to get really sick out here. All right, so today we got Beef ramen again. Let's go. It's really hot. It's really hot. Luckily that has a lid on it. But we got beef ramen. And there goes my fork. All right. It's really steaming today, so it's really fogging up my glasses. I'm just gonna eat this and enjoy the view, and then we'll hightail it back down to the car. All right, we're all cleaned up now after lunch, and it's time to start making our way back. I can tell the sun is slowly starting to go down. It's still really bright out here, but it'll get dark fast. So I'm gonna try and book it a little bit. Really steep, so I gotta be careful though. It's really steep right here. Nice and rocky underneath all the snow. But we're making some good progress. So I'm trekking down. I just got to the deeper snow, and I'm not 100% sure what I just spooked, but I spooked something pretty big in the bushes. It was a little scary just because I don't know what it was, but hopefully, since I spooked it, he won't come after me. This tree is completely dead, still standing, but it just looks really cool compared to how it's not bushy like all the other ones. It's just dead wood, but it's still standing strong. We're finally coming around to the beginning part where I got lost originally because the signs are kind of weird. From what it looks like, this is an ATV trail, which is not what I was going for originally, but maybe I just made a mistake right at the beginning. I can see the parking lot. There we are, parked down there. Just got a little bit more downhill to go. I just came around the bend and it went from completely silent to now you can just hear the water from this creek. This is a big creek. It's probably 20, 25, maybe further feet across. It's almost like a shallow river. But we're coming down to it. It's getting a lot colder, but I might just pick up the pace rather than stop to put the jacket on. But we're almost back down. And we're by the creek. I'll have to come back another day and explore the creek once I figured out where the trails go. Made it back to that first bridge, so we're definitely close to the parking lot. The water smells so good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the car. I totally forgot to film walking back up, but we made it back kind of just in time because the sun just ducked down below the mountains, so we got a little bit more time before the sun goes down, but probably only like half an hour. And I'm just about to head back. I'm pretty well whooped from walking on those hills. I'm probably gonna weigh my bag when I get back because I'm just curious how much it weighs, but
I'm still curious where all these trails go. I have no idea what was going on with the map. I looked at it again and I could not find where I went. And it looks to me as if the starting point of the map is probably not correct. But I'm gonna probably look into that and then maybe see about coming back and trying to find where I was actually intending to go, and hopefully be actually able to build something next time. But overall, it was good, and got to do some exploring. And I didn't get too lost because I just turned around and came back the way I went. But I'm curious about those footprints as well. How they got there is probably kind of interesting, because there was only one set coming down the mountain, but they stopped. And I couldn't find I found where I thought they started, and I have no clue how they got there. So I'm really interested, wondering what happened with that. But I guess it's a mystery of this trail.